The aid bank records $1.1 million in profits for 2014. DOWASCO reports mega achievements in 2014, and Dominica is one step closer to making its tourism product fully sustainable. Thank you for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Jarna Hector.
And I'm Tasia Floissac. Stay with us for details of the headline stories and others after this.
Think water, think life. Water refreshes, restores, cleans, and enhances growth. Potable water is a benchmark for development. DOWASCO is serious about its mandate to ensure easy access to potable water island-wide and provide sewage services for a cleaner environment. DOWASCO is your water and sewage company.
Thanks for staying with us. The Dominica Water and Sewerage Company DOWASCO, in partnership with the government of Dominica, has made remarkable strides in 2014 to make potable water accessible to the entire nation. To meet government's objective of 100% access, well over $40 million have been spent to bring this very important resource to every community on the island. Kimani Seja brings us this report.
The financial year 2013-2014 was quite notable for the Dominica Water and Sewage Company, DOWASCO. The company partnered with the government of Dominica, upgraded a number of water systems and, most importantly, constructed new water supply systems on the island. Bernard Etinoff, General Manager of DOWASCO, sat down with GIS and gave details of several projects undertaken in 2014 to bring optimum quality potable water to the people of Dominica. He first detailed some of the upgrades.
We've also seen the completion of the VCAS project, which was a project to upgrade the water supply system in VCAS. And that costed $1.3 million. It was fully completed in the year 2014 and in use and serving the residents of VCAS, all of VCAS, very, very well. That was fully funded by the government of Dominica as well. We've seen work progress nicely on the grant for water system. Phase 1 had been completed prior to 2014, but we've seen the last phase of that project being completed to the tune of $2.3 million, $1.3 million of which was provided by BNTF. The rest provided by DOWASCO and the government of Dominica. So that has brought much improvement to the grant for water supply system. The system is so designed that at a later stage we can extend that into Monjon to improve the water system there in Monjon.
Over $20 million was spent on upgrades to Water Area 1. Water Area 1 is a major water system on the island which stretches from Mero to Castle Comfort. It is served by the Springfield water intake.
The upgrade works include moving the existing intake almost 1 mile upstream to more solid ground, so that when it rains, you would have less stability in that water system. It also involves the upgrade of the water treatment plant and expansion of that plant. It involves a leak detection and management program to ensure that water that is produced is in fact supplied and we have less wastage on the system. It involves an upgrade of the DOWASCO laboratory and moving that lab to our Antrim area. Under that upgrade project, we saw the completion of the Antrim storage tank, which is a 250,000 gallons glass fused to steel storage tank that is constructed at Antrim. And that has brought much improvement to the water supply in that area. Even when it rains and the river gets brown, we do not have to interrupt the supply to consumers, and that for us is an achievement, a great achievement.
Upgrades to Water Area 1 is on schedule to be complete by mid-2016. A 100,000-gallon storage tank was also constructed in Massac. Etinoff says this community will see marked improvement in their water supply as early as next week. Work is also ongoing in the Savannah Scott's Head communities. In Phase 1 of that project, both supply lines were replaced. Phase 2, which commenced in 2014, involves the construction of a storage tank above the community of Savannah. It also involves the installation of an electric pump and pumping station. Another notable achievement for the year was the Benz water supply project.
There were some delays on that project because of the high rainfall in the area and the number of river crossings that had to be constructed, 11 in total. We have seen the completion of that project, and that project being put, or that system rather, being put into full use as of November 2014, improving very greatly the supply to the communities of Benz, Anzime, and Solda. The original cost for that was $3.6 million. Nonetheless, on completion, we actually spent $4.2 million. We had a loan of $3.6 that the government facilitated to the National Petroleum Company Limited, and DOWASCO had to contribute some $0.6 million, $600,000 to that project.
While these communities received upgrades to their existing water systems, at least 2 new areas on the island will receive potable water for the very first time. The residents of Bells, Penrise, Layu Park, and Ponkasi.
And these communities were among the last remaining communities to be served by DOWASCO water systems. There are a couple of small ones which we intend to do this year as well. That project is on schedule to be completed by the end of August 2015. It is costing somewhere in the region of $6.3 million, and there are at least 3 contractors on that particular project at this point in time. So again, it is all in an effort to deliver on government's mandate, 100% water coverage by the end of 2015, and we are well on course to doing that.
And the residents of Grand Savannah, Salisbury.
We have seen the completion of Lot 2 of the West Coast Water Supply Project, which is a major project for Dominica, costing in the region of $30 million. Lot 2 costed about $11 million, and that was fully completed in 2013-2014 financial year. Lot 1 was some 85% complete, and is expected to be fully completed by the end of February of this year. We've also seen the start of Lot 3 of that project, which is funded by the government of Dominica. Lot 3 to the tune of some $9 million. The first water tank to be completed or to be built under Lot 3 is the Grand Savannah Salisbury water storage tank, which is going to provide water to the residents of Grand Savannah for the very, very first time.
The completion and operation of these 2 new systems will meet government's objective to give the nation 100% access to top-quality potable water by the end of 2015. Kimani Seja for GIS News.
Thank you, Kimani, for that report. Dominica is one step closer to making its tourism product fully sustainable. The Ministry of Tourism and Urban Renewal hosted a validation and action plan workshop towards sustainability within the tourism sector. This workshop falls under the Sustainable Destinations Alliance for the Americas project, which is one of 2 projects being implemented by Sustainable Travel International this week. Lolita Raful represents the Discover Dominica Authority.
Several focus group meetings, interviews, site visits, and story capture were held in order to measure our sustainability level. Today, the results of this assessment will be shared. Your contribution at this workshop will validate what was captured in the assessment. Based on this, we will identify and develop priority projects and basic action plans. Practical, implementable projects is what we need. We believe that these projects will help Dominica to improve the way tourism and other sectors are managed, and this will help to enhance our competitiveness.
Senior Director of Planning at Sustainable Tourism International, Jasmine Shader-Losick, says this is an opportunity to develop partnerships among destinations geared towards sustainability.
In the Caribbean in particular, destinations are facing a challenging reality. Tourism growth is not uniform across the region, but it has certainly been very strong globally. And as tourism grows, you need to balance the needs of the communities with the needs of the visitors, with the needs of the environment. And many destinations have struggled over the course of their tourism development to protect their resources, their natural and cultural heritage and to plan for the long term. And destinations need to retain that which makes them special so that they can be competitive. Ultimately, we know that when tourism is well managed, it can create economic growth, it can sustain livelihoods, it can enrich people's lives, make their lives better, strengthen communities, and it can provide an incentive to protect natural and cultural heritage. Sustainability can be a competitive advantage, and it can reduce the cost of operating your business. It can help you keep employees engaged in your business. It can improve the product quality and enhance customer satisfaction.
He says there is a 5-step process to making the destination fully sustainable.
The first step was doing the rapid sustainable destination diagnostic, and we're going to review those results today. The second is action planning. That's what we're focused on in this meeting right now. The third, as a result of that, will be an education and training program, an online course that will be available to those in the tourism sector and others who wish to better understand sustainable tourism good practices. The fourth is establishing a monitoring system, and this will be just a few key indicators that are prioritized by the destination to look at over time, and to commit to checking back in and making sure that the destination is progressing. And then the fifth, and one of the most important, is sustainability storytelling. And this is really about making sure that the efforts that are being undertaken by everyone in this room and those outside of it are captured and leveraged to promote this destination. It's very much aligned with the way this destination is already promoted as the nature island, and I think that there's a really great opportunity to tell a unique story here that will make this destination more competitive.
In more news, Dominica's main development bank, the Aid Bank, held its 22nd annual general meeting on Wednesday. The event, themed Leading the Way Towards a Sustainable Future, was well attended by stakeholders with considerable support from main shareholder, the Government of Dominica. The Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, Minister for Finance, publicly acknowledged the bank's role in the national move towards sustainability.
I must state that it is not all about central government. Who then should contribute to this mission of securing a sustainable future? The theme chosen by the Aid Bank suggests that the institution is willing to take up that task and make its own contribution. Indeed, given the mandate of the Aid Bank, it is well poised to aid in this avenue. I would like to call on all Dominicans to play his or her part.
The bank's general manager, Julius Corbett, describes the organization's performance for the financial year ending June 30th, 2014 as commendable considering global financial challenges.
Notwithstanding these hurdles, the Aid Bank is recognized as one of the leading development banks in the region, thanks in part to prudent financial management, a committed management and staff, and government's enabling environment ensuring that the bank's strategic objectives are achieved. I must say right off the bat that I am proud of the achievement of my management team and support staff during the period under review. Considerable effort was made in enhancing existing policies and preparing new policies to improve the operational framework and set new standards for best practices.
Martin Charles, chairman of the board of the Aid Bank, delivered the performance report. The Agricultural, Industrial and Development Bank realized $1.1 million in profits for the financial year. That is almost 10% more than 2013. That also indicates that $26.9 million in loans were approved for the year, 8.9% more than the previous financial year. 29% of that went to housing construction. The figures for non-performing loans indicate a 2.56% decrease from 2013. The chairman described the year as one of the most challenging ones in the bank's 43-year existence. He made note, however, of government's overwhelming support throughout the year. The Honorable Prime Minister, addressing staff of the aid bank, shared advice which could be applied to nation builders in general.
We have a national duty. It is not about the government, it is about our own individual contribution. So whether you are the cleaner, or whether you are an accountant, or you're a general manager, or you're a manager of one of the departments, always remember that you're doing this in the service of the God that you serve and your country, Dominica. You're not doing it for me, you're doing it for your country. So be diligent in what you do, and be frank with what you do, and let your conscience guide your actions and decisions.
In other news, youth around Dominica will get a chance to learn new skills on the second phase of the Silver Lake redevelopment project. Contractor for the project, Felix Thomas, announced on Tuesday that the youth division is stepping in to bring young people on board the project as part of the youth skills training program.
Last time we had a total of some 59 workers on this project. What you're going to see is we are going to link this project a lot with the youth skills training program by the Youth Development Division, and bring on board a lot of our young, construction workers. We have all registered them with the youth skills training program. Whilst on that project, a program would be carried out where they will be trained in plumbing, in carpentry, in masonry, in electrical works. So you hope to see a lot of young persons who by the end of that project would be better skilled and certified by the youth skills training program on this project, and that is an interesting part of it.
Tasia, I've always found this story to be rather remarkable in my eyes. Since I started following it, I felt a sort of kinship with it. I don't exactly know why. But from what I understand, back in 2008, the Prime Minister visited Silver Lake, he walked through the community, and he saw the living conditions of the people. I got to walk a bit there at one point, and I wasn't sure what a longhouse was and all of that, but when I looked, it did stay on my mind, and I saw what the Prime Minister saw, and he wanted to do something for these people who could not afford decent housing for themselves. And the next thing you know, it was phase 1 of the Silver Lake redevelopment project. Then sometime later in September, 6 apartments were completed and handed over to people, and the difference is just so dramatic. It's really, really impressive.
I agree, and it's not just the people in Silver Lake. We see this program, the Housing Revolution, being expanded across the island, for example, in the Kalinago territory and Castle Bruce. And through the Prime Minister's aggressive foreign policy, we have been able to get funds available, and even through the government's own funds, have been able to make some of these houses available to people. And I think it's a great initiative, and I think we can look forward to a lot more from this housing revolution in 2015. Another thing that jumps out at me is the fact that young people are being gainfully employed, well, whether it's short or mid-term, but they're also learning a trade,
which is long-term.
Right. So we see the youth development division. Well, over a long period of time, actually decades now, they have been getting youth to participate in building and programs such as these, which I think is going to help a lot of young people to establish their own businesses. You don't necessarily have to get a degree, but you can make your own business or be part of another business with these skills.
I think it's impressive that 2 separate programs and initiatives can come together to make things better for an array of people who need housing, people who need training, and people who need jobs. I think it's just the beginning of a lot more to come.
I agree. And also this news time, the Dominica Police Force remains resolute in its mission to ensure a peaceful and incident-free Mass Dominic 2015. As in previous years, the force continues to enforce safety regulations for all revelers, motorists, patrons, vendors and the like during the Carnival celebrations, specifically Carnival Monday and Tuesday. Police Superintendent David Andrew and Inspector of Police Richmond Valentine explained these parameters to GIS News on Wednesday, which fall under Section 5 of Dominica's Peace and Preservation Act, Chapter 1504. Superintendent Andrew outlined the order's noise and weapon restrictions for Carnival Monday and Tuesday.
Weapon of offense includes any firearm, cutlass, knife, stick, stone, and bottle, either empty or containing liquid of any description, and any article or thing capable of being used as an offensive weapon. This is to say, your nail file can become a weapon, ice pricks can become a weapon, lighters not accepted. So anything that could be used as a weapon would be prevented from having it in your person or having it in the band on Carnival Monday and Tuesday. Noisy instrument includes any apparatus, device, musical instrument, or radio by means of which sounds may be mechanically or electronically produced or reproduced for the purpose of reveling or enjoyment.
The public is informed that this also includes a lighted torch. Therefore, the use of matches, lighters, or any tool to create combustion is not allowed. The use of drums or any other noise instrument is prohibited in public before 4 a.m. on Monday and 8 a.m. on Tuesday. The sounding of horns or instruments within a 25-meter radius of any fire station, police station, or hospital is also prohibited. Meantime, he indicated that the order also addresses the standard of clothing and code of conduct. No individual is permitted to wear any military uniform unless authorized by the Dominica Police Force. Superintendent Andrew also made this special appeal to revelers intending to use sensei costumes.
Persons with sensei should ensure that they are registered and they are carrying the identification number, especially when they are wearing masks. I want to underscore that and emphasize that all persons wearing sensei and mask must ensure that they are registered and they are wearing in a conspicuous location on the sensei their identification number.
He stated firmly that the Dominica Police Force will adopt a robust, no-tolerance approach during Carnival.
Notwithstanding all the arrangement made by the Act for persons to revel, it does not suspend the laws of the land. Therefore, the police officer on duty around the Carnival band on Monday and Tuesday, if he finds anyone is behaving suspiciously or in a disorderly manner, he can call this person to order, ask them for the name and address, and if they fail to do so, they can be arrested.
Carnival is anticipated to end at 10 p.m. The general public and bands are asked to support the Dominica Police Force in this regard, particularly in accordance to the cutoff time of Carnival on both days. This authorized order for Carnival Monday and Tuesday will be released by the Honorable National Security Minister in the upcoming days. GIS News will relay more of these regulations in tomorrow's newscast. And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non moi c'est McPherson St. Louis. Premièrement, et Banque Dominique Chain, gros meeting à aujourd'hui. Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, ensemble avec plusieurs ministres gouvernement en parmi d'autres, attendent cérémonie qui prend place à Crazy Coconuts. General Manager Julius Corbett délivre un report opération banque là et puis manier un plan fait progrès. Chairman banque là Martin Charles délivre un report manier banque là fonctionner l'année 2014.
Premièrement, moi l'ai dit nous bien il a fait aide banque en plaisir parce que Premier ministre Dominique c'est là avec nous aujourd'hui là pour tant pourquoi ça nous fait pour l'année 2014 et meeting là aujourd'hui là, nous déclarer qu'il nous fait un beau profit. Nous savons bitim pas déjà bon la terre là, mais nous manager comme dans manière qui fait nous faire un petit profit. So aujourd'hui là, tout le monde là c'est bien plaît pour tendre sa banque la café. Et aussi aujourd'hui là nous montrer pas en avec parole mais nous montrer portrait comme nous allons faire industrial estate en Kinfield plus meilleur, plus attractif qui monde qui les investir en Dominique ça vient là et nous avons parlé contre ICT, nous avons parlé contre d'autres entreprises qui viennent à Kinfield et là ils viennent là ils dit ça c'est en place ils veulent. So enfin aujourd'hui là c'est un bon jour pour Dominique même et nous avons remercier le gouvernement pour tout ça support là Ikaba et bank.
Chairman Charles parlait contre un challenge expérimenté en l'année là.
Ce challenge là nous expérimenté en 2014, c'est mon parti qui payer à ce temps. Et nous vous savez mon en principe qui et banque c'est bagay gouvernement so yo ça on prend l'argent et va pas payer. C'est pourquoi moi aujourd'hui là demander monde pour venir en banque là pour yo faire rangement pour payer ça yo cadoué. Parce banque là qui a prêté l'argent hors organisation et nous pour payer ces monde la vie. So ça mettez nous dans bien difficile position et même position ça là nous tourner pour avantage nous et c'est pour ça nous réaliser un petit profit dans ça là.
Notre nouvelle ministre touriste a collaboré et puis plusieurs stakeholders pour développer un plan pour management zordis en pays. Il y a un workshop qui mène plusieurs stakeholders ensemble pour discuter plan là pour place mardi semaine là. M. Edward Henderson, c'est officier technical en ministre touriste.
Comment nous ça pour ça nous va faire un lot bagaille avec eux. On n'est pas jeter en landfill. Puis tout ça mon ka faire ça n'est jeter tout bagaille. Non, là nous gagnons un bagaille hot dehors. Il y a des plastique, il y a des cardboard, il y a des papier, il y a des styrofoam, tout autre qualité bagaille ça. Toutes ces bagages ça nous pour chercher en place pour mettre yo. Ça coûte l'argent pour faire ça. Donc nous avons décidé nous sommes manager toutes ces bagages ça. Nous sommes aidés qu'on puisse. Nous avons dit Dominica c'est en place qui green and clean. Mais là où passer où c'est pas qu'à ça. Toutes ces dalles là qui plein. Bord live, bord lambe, tout au là où passer aujourd'hui. Si solide ne pas passer aujourd'hui, là où passer demain, c'est un lot de bagaille. So, si touristes passent, vous voyez toutes ces ordres, ça, tout partout. Vous passez encore venir dire Dominic Green. Puis, si vous dites Dominic Net, avec tout au là où passer, vous voyez ordres, vous voyez watt, vous voyez chien qui a les bagailles. Vous passez comprendre ça, vous dit. Donc, nous avons dit aujourd'hui, nous avons gardé toute manière, nous avons ranger Dominic. Avec fait mon catch le code ça yo même ça fait pour manger problème ça.
Et puis finalement, même parlement Kalinago honorable Cassius Darou visité Resource Center Sensi territoire Kalinago. Honorable Darou bien plaisir pour l'institution salam qui a un service pour territoire là et aussi mentionné plus de travail pour territoire là.
Après ça, nous venons, nous vivons Saint-Cyr, là, nous vivons au Resource Center Saint-Cyr, c'est un morceau architecture qui est très important pour nous, gagner lever place, nous garder plus belle, plus présentable. Nous avons servi, nous avons utilisé pour ça faire plus qui peut avec ça nous. Parce que c'est un morceau architectural design qui est développé par Kalinago, eux-mêmes, ils ont décidé ça, ils voulaient taper bien belle. Nous avons équipé avec la technologie moderne. So, nos enfants nous sont venus là, ils sont entertainés, ils sont avec quelque chose qu'ils ont fait. Aussi, c'est attention moi pour le futur, pour nous aller en FM station, belle structure ça là qu'on fait là. Mais quand nous avons continué pour développer place dans la communauté comme constituency, il y a l'autre travail pour faire, mais nous ça fait si nous faisons ensemble. On seul monde pas à faire toute bagaille, nous avons demandé pour toute tête venir ensemble parce que place là c'est pas ça moi, c'est ça nous. Et bien on but moi de veut dire bah moun Kalinago territory avec Atkinson and Drizzle c'est le gouvernement fait un bagaille bah place là. C'est pas ça gouvernement, c'est ça nous, c'est pour nous embracer et pour ça nous taper pour faire la vie nous plus meilleure.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson, Saint-Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, more tips to break your sugar addiction.
If you can believe this,
come by my house and let me show you some movies.
why can't you believe this? Some mothers don't believe their own children when they say they've been sexually abused, and they don't report it. Remember, if anyone asks to see or touch their private parts, touches them inappropriately, shows them or forces them to touch one's private parts, has sex with them, shows them pornographic material, or deliberately lets them hear or see the act of sex, then it is sexual abuse. Believe your child and report the sexual abuse. For more information about child abuse, contact these agencies. This message brought to you by UNICEF and this station.
Use your willpower and have cheat days. It's easier to go sugar-free for several days, knowing that on Friday you can indulge without guilt. Try having several cheat days each week at first, then down to only one, and ultimately limit yourself to only one sweet alternative.
You can actually use honey as a substitute for raw sugar. Although it is still a sweetener and can be overused like anything, raw honey is full of nutrients, enzymes, and actually has many healing properties. It is also glycemically lower than sugar, and many people who react to sugar strongly can eat honey without issue.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm.
Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News Desk, I'm Jarna Hector.
And I'm Tasia Floissac. Thanks for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.